Fontaine sells drugs in the Glen, a suburban community. One night, after collecting money from one of his customers, Slick Charles, not after a hustle collection, he is slain by a rival drug dealer named Isaac. Slick witnessed Fontaine being gunned down. The next night, Slick is taken by shock when Fontaine comes up for the money again, seemingly alive and with no knowledge of the previous night's events. The two track down Slick's sex worker, Yo-Yo, to confirm Slick's allegations about his death, which confuses Fontaine. Yo-Yo leads Fontaine and Slick to the supposed-to-be suspect's location. She leads them to an SUV that was parked outside a house. They investigate inside and uncover an elevator that leads to a subterranean lab. Inside, they ran into a white scientist with an afro and held him at gunpoint. The white scientist confessed the operation has spread before Slick unintentionally murders him while sniffing a mystery white substance he believes is cocaine, which makes him giggle. Before leaving, the party discovers a corpse that looks exactly like Fontaine on a table. After discovering that the lab's entrance had vanished the next morning, the trio visits a fried chicken restaurant where they had lunch. Slick suddenly noticed Tyrone, who never smiles, starts smiling and goes far as laughing. He then noticed everybody in the restaurant was laughing, it prompting Slick to figure out that the food contains the same thing that he earlier consumed. After seducing the restaurant manager, Yo-Yo realizes that the entire Glen is being monitored and videotaped, and that the drug is also utilized in grape beverages and hair products. Somewhere in the neighborhood, they had a tip from an alcoholic old man about a strange church. The trio proceeded to the location. After discovering a hidden elevator within a church altar, the trio enters a subterranean lab facility that spans the entire Glen region and witnesses black people being subjected to terrible behavioral experiments. They discover that the lab contains clones of several Glen inhabitants, including Fontaine and Slick. After Fontaine sets off an alarm, they leave through a strip club. The DJ brainwashes the clubgoers with a song and pushes them to pursue the trio. A white man named Nixon and a Fontaine clone named Chester arrive to stop the clubgoers from chasing them. Nixon discloses that scientists conduct experiments on underprivileged, mostly black groups, such as the Glen, in order for the operation to go undetected and presumably create peace in America. After momentarily utilizing a trigger word to force the entire audience to obey his directions, even Fontaine was frozen with pistol in his hand, except he could move his eyes. Nixon went into a sinister mode, showing how powerful he was, even to the point making Fontaine put his own pistol in his mouth as Slick froze and looks in helpless. Nixon threatens to use it again if the trio does not halt their investigation. Despite this, Yo-Yo chooses to take problems into her own hands. However, her identity is discovered, and Nixon kidnaps her. Fontaine learns of this and devises a plan with Isaac, his nemesis who shot him in the beginning, and Slick to rescue Yo-Yo. Fontaine fakes his death in order to enter the facility unobserved. He then allows Slick and Isaac to storm the lab, along with a large number of Glen residents. They safeguard the black people being experimented on, including the clones, while Yo-Yo liberates herself and locates Slick. Meanwhile, somewhere, Chester got into a fist fight with Fontaine. Chester then beats the crap out Fontaine and transports him to an older version of himself, the original Fontaine. The older Fontaine stated he collaborated with scientists in achieving peace by transforming black people into white people through mind control and generational breeding. Whoa. He also stated he began creating clones when his younger brother was murdered by a police officer on the basis of race. After the original Fontaine says that the country would benefit from assimilation rather than annihilation, Fontaine puts Nixon's trigger word on Chester and orders him to shoot the original. Meanwhile, Yo-Yo prevents Nixon from killing her before Slick shoots him in the head. All of a sudden, the facility door to the church opens, releasing clones into the public and revealing the secret operation. After the mission was completed, Yo-Yo announces her retirement from her employment. The trio decided to take a trip to Memphis to further expose and end the organization. Meanwhile, somewhere in Los Angeles, a man named Tyrone, who is identical to and lives the same lifestyle as Fontaine, is watching television with his pals when they notice one of Fontaine's clones on the news.